If you're older and not ejaculating regularly, is it actually harmless or quietly harming your health? Most men over 50 were never told this matters, yet many struggle with low energy, weaker erections, poor sleep, and dropping testosterone without knowing the root cause. Today, I'll explain what really happens inside your body when ejaculation stops and why frequency matters more than you think. I'm Dr. Barbara O'Neill, a clinician with over 40 years of experience helping men restore vitality naturally. Tell me where you're watching from and gently tap like and subscribe so you don't miss what could change everything. When ejaculation stops or becomes infrequent after age 50, most men assume it's just part of slowing down and that it has no real consequence. But inside the body, something very different is happening. Your reproductive system, like your muscles or memory, is designed for regular use. When it's ignored, the entire chain of functions begins to wind down. First, semen builds up in the seminal vesicles, and without regular release, this can lead to congestion. That congestion doesn't just sit still, it triggers mild inflammation, increases pressure around the prostate, and signals the body that this system is no longer active. Over time, your hormone regulation, especially testosterone, can start to drop in response. Blood flow to the genitals may decrease, and you might notice weaker erections, slower recovery after arousal, or even duller sensation. These are not just symptoms of age, they're messages from a body adapting to disuse. I've spoken to many men in their 60s and 70s who tell me they've lost interest or that sex just doesn't feel the same. But when we dig deeper, it's not about desire, it's about function. And function, thankfully, can often be restored. You're not broken. Your body is simply responding to its environment. Like an unused machine, it stiffens. Like a garden unwatered, it stops blooming. One simple awareness shift is this. Frequency is not about performance. It's about maintenance. Just as you stretch to avoid stiffness or walk to maintain heart health, ejaculation, whether through sex or self-stimulation, can play a key role in keeping your reproductive system healthy, your hormones balanced, and your circulation flowing. This isn't about returning to your 20s, it's about staying in charge of your biology. If you've been feeling low on energy, noticing more frequent urination, or waking up without the morning signs of vitality, this may be part of the missing link. And what happens when testosterone gets dragged into the picture? The story gets even more interesting. Most men over 50 think declining testosterone is just a natural part of aging. And yes, your levels will gradually taper off, but what many don't realize is that sexual inactivity can speed up that process. When you stop ejaculating regularly, your body interprets it as a sign that reproduction is no longer a priority, and your brain, particularly the hypothalamus, adjusts accordingly. It reduces the signals that stimulate testosterone production in the testes. This isn't theory, it's well-documented physiology. When sexual activity stops, the hormonal loop between brain and body weakens, and once that signal fades, everything downstream begins to shift. Energy, motivation, muscle tone, and even emotional resilience. Think about it. You used to wake up with morning erections, feel motivated to tackle the day, and had that steady inner drive. But lately, maybe for months or even years, it's been harder to get going. You feel foggy, tired, less decisive. You walk past the mirror and your posture's changed, your muscle mass has softened, and you're just not quite yourself. That's not just aging, that's hormonal feedback dysfunction. Your body is extremely responsive and it listens closely to your daily habits. If it senses low demand, it downshifts production. But here's the hopeful part. This process is also reversible. You don't need testosterone injections to spark your levels back up. One of the most natural and accessible ways to support your testosterone is simple: restore sexual activity. Whether that's with a partner or on your own, ejaculation helps re-engage the loop between your brain and testes. It reminds your system, hey, we're still here, still functioning, still needed. That signal prompts luteinizing hormone, which tells your body to keep making testosterone. It's like turning the ignition on an engine that's been sitting too long. One small habit I suggest to my patients is to treat sexual health like any other form of exercise. Start with consistency, not intensity. Even weekly stimulation, if approached mindfully and regularly, can have a positive impact on hormone regulation. Over time, many men report feeling more mentally clear, more emotionally stable, and even more physically motivated just from this one shift. And while testosterone is powerful, it's not acting alone. There's another key area you'll want to support, one that often gets tight and inflamed with age, especially when ejaculation slows down. I'm talking about your prostate and the surprising relief that regular release can bring. Let's dive into that next. The prostate is one of the most misunderstood glands in a man's body, especially after age 50. Most men only think about it when something goes wrong: frequent urination, weak flow, or that uncomfortable pressure down low. But what if I told you that one of the simplest, most natural ways to support your prostate is something you may have gradually stopped doing: ejaculating? See, the prostate isn't just a passive organ. It produces and stores seminal fluid, and regular ejaculation helps flush that fluid out. When this process slows down or stops, fluid can stagnate, leading to congestion, inflammation, and over time, increased risk for prostate problems. Now, let's be clear, prostate enlargement isn't always dangerous. In fact, a certain degree of benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, is common as men age, but the real issue is pressure and inflammation. When the prostate isn't emptied regularly, it swells more easily, becomes inflamed, and presses against the urethra. That's why so many men over 60 find themselves waking up multiple times at night to urinate or feeling like they never fully empty their bladder. It's not just about size, it's about fluid balance, blood flow, and internal pressure. Emotionally, this can be exhausting. You start to plan your outings around bathroom access. You hesitate to drink water. You sleep poorly and feel embarrassed, even a bit ashamed. But let me reassure you, this is incredibly common and it's not a sentence. One gentle, powerful way to ease this pressure is through regular ejaculation. It doesn't have to be sexual, it can be purely mechanical. The goal is to keep the fluid moving and the gland active. This movement helps reduce stagnation, lowers inflammation markers, and improves circulation in the pelvic region. A simple practice I often suggest is pelvic floor relaxation exercises in combination with light stimulation once or twice a week. You can even try warm baths to relax the area before. Over time, many men report fewer nighttime bathroom trips, less urgency, and a general sense of ease and lightness in the lower abdomen. Think of it like cleaning a filter. When you keep it flowing, the system runs better. But the benefits of regular function go beyond comfort. They extend to how well your entire sexual system responds, including one vital area that many older men worry they've lost completely: erectile strength. And it turns out there's a direct connection between your prostate, blood flow, and the ability to maintain arousal. Let's explore that next. Let's talk openly about something many men over 60 avoid: erectile strength. If you've noticed a softer erection, slower arousal, or even a complete loss of response, you're not alone. And it's not something to feel ashamed of. But what most men don't realize is that this isn't just a bedroom problem, it's a circulation problem. Your penis is a vascular organ, which means it depends on healthy blood flow, clear arteries, and strong nerve signaling. And like any part of your body that relies on movement, it follows the rule of use it or lose it. When erections stop happening regularly, whether due to lack of desire, fatigue, or fear of failure, the tissues inside the penis begin to change. The smooth muscle that helps trap blood starts to weaken. Tiny blood vessels may begin to stiffen and nerve sensitivity drops. Over time, this creates a feedback loop where erections become harder to achieve, which leads to even less stimulation, which worsens the problem. But here's what you need to know. This process is not final. It's functional, not permanent, and it can often be reversed with small, consistent steps. Emotionally, I know this can feel like a loss of manhood. Many men feel embarrassed, even broken, and start avoiding intimacy altogether. They lose confidence, not just sexually, but in daily life. I've had men tell me they feel invisible, like they've aged out of being wanted. That emotional weight is heavy, but what I've seen over and over is that once we bring the body back into healthy function, the mind begins to heal too. Confidence isn't just mental, it's biological. A safe, confidence-building step I recommend is daily blood flow activation. This doesn't require arousal. It can be as simple as warming the pelvic area, doing 5 minutes of light pelvic stretches or Kegels, and encouraging gentle stimulation, even if no erection happens at first. The goal is circulation. Think of it like physical therapy for your sexual health. Over time, this can retrain the nervous system, increase blood vessel responsiveness, and slowly bring sensitivity and function back online. Many men are shocked by how much changes within just a few weeks of consistent practice. They sleep better, feel stronger, and begin to reconnect with their bodies. And while physical strength is key, there's another part of the story we haven't touched yet, one that's often the missing link in senior men's health. It has to do with stress, sleep, and emotional release. Let's explore that side of the equation next. Sleep problems, anxiety, that constant edge of restlessness that never seems to fade. For many men over 50, these issues creep in slowly until one day they're just part of life. But what if part of that tension was connected to something as simple and as overlooked as ejaculation? You see, sexual release isn't just physical, it's deeply hormonal and neurological. When a man ejaculates, the body releases a wave of calming biochemicals like oxytocin and prolactin, while dialing down cortisol, your primary stress hormone. This shift triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for rest, digestion, and deep restorative sleep. Now imagine the opposite. When ejaculation stops completely, especially over long periods, this natural rhythm of release and reset is interrupted. Cortisol can remain elevated. Sleep becomes lighter, more fragmented. Emotional tension builds, often without a clear cause. I've had men in their 60s and 70s come to me exhausted, irritable, unable to sleep through the night, but with normal labs and nothing wrong. And time and again, when we gently reintroduce sexual activity, even once a week, they start to feel human again, more relaxed, more emotionally stable, more at home in their own bodies. This isn't about sex for performance or ego, it's about restoration. Ejaculation, when done mindfully and regularly, is like a pressure valve for your nervous system. It helps your brain downshift into deeper sleep cycles, balances hormone levels, and gives you a sense of emotional reset. For men who live alone or who feel disconnected from intimacy, this can be done solo, without shame. It's a form of self-care, not indulgence. Tonight, I invite you to try something gentle. Before bed, take 10 quiet minutes with no screens, no noise. Sit in a warm bath or do light stretching to relax your pelvic area. If you feel comfortable, allow yourself some light self-stimulation, not for climax alone, but for connection. If ejaculation happens naturally, great. If not, you've still engaged your nervous system in a way that promotes rest and calm. Over time, this small practice can dramatically improve how you sleep, how you feel in your skin, and how you start your day. Because this journey isn't just about testosterone or prostate health, it's about your entire quality of life. And when you wake up rested, with less tension in your body and more clarity in your mind, you'll see how all these systems are connected. But before we wrap, I want to leave you with a powerful message about aging well, taking back control, and why your best years aren't behind you. Aging isn't a slow slide into weakness. It's a call to action. Your body is still listening, still capable of change, and still wired to heal when given the right signals. Every small, intentional step you take, whether that's reclaiming sexual health, improving sleep, or managing stress, sends a powerful message. You haven't given up. You've decided to show up. As a man over 50, you still have deep reserves of strength, drive, and clarity waiting to be reawakened. Work with your biology, not against it. Reclaim your rhythm. Reignite your purpose. I'd love to hear your age and what resonated most from today's video. Leave a comment, connect with other men here, and share this message with someone you care about, because your best years aren't behind you. They're right here in front of you, waiting for the man you choose to become.